So here it is, the first year of the Milwaukee 8 Harley-Davidson Softail Heritage. What's up, guys? I'm Isaac here at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and I've got your pre-owned bike of the week, which is this 2018 Harley-Davidson Softail Heritage. So 2018 was a crazy year for a lot of reasons, but especially because that was the year that Harley-Davidson switched over officially from the old twin cam powered Softail frame to the new Milwaukee 8 powered. That changed a lot of things. Obviously, the biggest thing was that powered plant. You went up to that 107 Milwaukee 8 motor, and it's awesome. It got a little bit sportier and just felt a little bit lighter and felt like a entirely different bike than the 2017s. Part of that has to do with this rear swing arm assembly. So now, instead of having those shocks up underneath, now these and all the other Softails afterwards so far use that mono shock underneath the seat. Now this one in particular is pre-owned. It's that beautiful kind of industrial gray denim with that denim black, and it does have the 2-to-2 exhaust with Reinhardt slip-ons. It does not appear to have a windshield on it, but it does have bushings to put one if you want. It's got the passing lights. I got some hand guards. Got some grips, some engine guards. It's got those floorboards, has these saddlebags, and it's got this nice little lay-down license plate. And it looks like a little aftermarket LED setup around too. So go ahead and fire it up. Let's hear what it sounds like. Oh yeah. Check out these lights. Got some LEDs. I'll throw the turn signals on here for you. Nice and bright. Oh, that's cool. It's in there too. And show you the front. Oh yeah, that is bright. Cool. So here it is, Softail Heritage. We're gonna go give it a little ride around Raleigh and show you what it's like. Beautiful day for it. Nice and warm, so get this thing in the wind, get some knees in the breeze, as they say. The Softail has always stood out as the most classic looking of the Softails because it had full-length fenders and usually had some sort of spoked rear wheel. Now, on this one, on these years, it was a true laced wheel. Whereas on the newer ones, it went to that tubeless laced wheel. And so this one's pretty cool. I think some of the years you had an option between either cast wheels. You actually kind of got a lot of options in the Heritage. I remember when I was doing inventory photos, it might say you had a blue Heritage on the way, but could be a blue Heritage with chrome trim, could be a blue Heritage with black trim, or it could be blue Heritage with chrome trim and cast wheels, or blue Heritage with chrome wheels, or with black trim, chrome trim, and laced wheels. So there were a lot of options. It's been slimmed down quite a bit this year for 25, and so those Heritage motorcycles got a ton of updates, and with that actually kind of went to some of the styling too. So they went to 2-to-1 exhaust and a black and chrome contrast trim all the way around on it. But in 2018, this bike really stood out from the pack because it was still it was pretty significant because you had this whole modern new modernized motor, still push rods and classic Harley rumble, but it was the Milwaukee 8 and brought a new experience to the Softails, and especially with this chassis and how these bikes handle. So it's pretty exciting. Heritage stood out because it was one of the only real light touring bikes at the time. This one and the Sport Glide were the only options you had for that light touring segment. Because this bike had ABS and cruise control. Not all of them really had ABS, and especially, really many of them didn't have cruise control. I think the Sport Glide and the Heritage were the only ones with cruise control. So I remember particularly on the lowriders, because the ST hadn't come out yet. There's a lot of people trying to get this module to have cruise control. Later, the Heritage got the 114 and the 117, but the 107, I still love the 107. It's such a good motor to build off of. Throw a cam in it, you can compete easily with the new 117s. Throw a cam in the 117, so it gets to be a different story. Nice cozy seat, cozy suspension, and you have a 6 gear, so this thing's made for cruising. Throw a windshield back on it and you can rack up all kinds of miles. But a day like today, getting that airflow is actually a nice surprise. Yeah, so we're cruising at about 2,700 RPMs at about 75 miles an hour, give or take. And it's nice, easy cruising. I can still roll on and have good passing acceleration. Especially once it gets up to about 3,000, then you'll really feel it. When you get closer to 3,000, that's when you really start feeling that pull. So you can ride these in a kind of sportier fashion, but this one's not really designed as much as some other Softails for it. It can handle it good, but you're rocking big old floorboards, so you can scrape those up pretty quick. It's a 5-gallon tank. It's super easy to ride, very comfortable. And this is the stock seat too. Now they did want They did want the tank to be symmetrical. So you do have 2 caps, but the only one that's an actual cap is this one on the right. So that's kind of a throwback to on that previous gen of Softails. On most of them, this left side was actually where your analog fuel gauge was. But now your only analog gauge on this bike you have is this speedometer and my green light. But then underneath, that's one of the things that I really love about these Softails, and kind of where they've stayed with this, is that you have this nice big, classic tank-mounted analog speedometer, but you get a lot of the readouts you still want with that digital ability. So underneath, I can see all the time pretty much what gear I'm in, as well as the fuel in the bike. 2 things that you're probably going to want if you're looking to rack some miles up. But I can also, with the top of the horn button, my left thumb here, so right now I can see my RPMs, but then I can change it to see miles on the bike, and you'll see on this one it's got just over 6,300, so it's got plenty of life left, it looks like. And I have my trip A and B, which look like they've never been reset. I have my fuel range, which is also really nice. I don't know if you heard that bug hit. And then I have my clock. So lots of great stuff to work with. And you've got these nice mini apes, so if you're a big T-bar guy, then cables are probably already long enough for the ones you want, unless you want something crazy. But you got this going on, and it looks good. And it's already in a pretty relaxed position, so I'm with this current setup, I'm good to ride for days. And there's nothing else you'd really have to add, of course, unless you want to put that windshield back on, because you've got locking luggage back there. And big advantage, yeah, these things want to rip. And big advantage to these over the previous ones is that they actually went to a kind of hard plastic interior, but left this like soft leather-like material on the outside, so that way, they still look good, but they look even better because they're not going to fold. They won't kind of cave in unless you crash the bike pretty much, or stomp on them. Whereas with the leather ones over time, they'd kind of like sag in a little bit. So these will keep their shape a lot better, and you can lock them, and they're a little more watertight. So overall, makes them pretty nice. And then of course you have the option for detachable hardware, or at least you can add some quick detach accessories, like a back seat for your passenger. Because once your passenger rides with the back seat, they get a little picky and want to ride with the back seat all the time. But, or you can throw on like a tour pack or something. I think we actually have another used Heritage in stock that has that actual matching Heritage that matches the like studded look on the bags. So it's pretty cool. This is a great bike. I remember back when I was looking a big bagger. I knew I was going to be putting on a lot of miles, but I was also doing a lot of camping and stuff like that. So it just did a big bagger at the time just didn't really quite seem like the right fit. And Softails were a little more affordable. So with those, I was actually looking at the Heritage quite a bit because it met my options, or at least my criteria. I mean, I needed something with luggage, and I needed something with wind protection because I knew I was going to be racking miles up, and those were kind of two things that were going to make road tripping a little bit easier. And so I was kind of between, I was really eyeballing that, but then I found the Sport Glide, and that's what I started riding. So also on these Softails, they got the oil cooler up front, so these are kind of one of the nicer ones for riding around on, because it's a 107, so it's pretty small, relatively smaller displacement. You know, it's not a massive 131 or anything like that, so it's not, it can still get hot for sure, but it's not as terrible. It's not really cranking out that much. But then it's got the oil cooler up front, so I mean, it's a good combo. And then your legs are actually in front of the motor, so you're really, when the wind's blowing, you're really not getting much of that heat on you. So that's really nice. So yeah, here it is. Feels good. Being out in the open, feeling the breeze. And I've got, on these floorboards, I can move, I've got a lot of room to move my feet around. So I can pull a little bit closer to me if I want, or I can stretch them out some. And then I have the engine guard to really throw my legs out and on. So all around, this is a great bike for riding right here. Yeah, well, thank you guys for riding along with us. If you're looking for a new or used motorcycle, or just want to come hang out, holler at us, then come stop by and see us here at Back Road Harley-Davidson. We have a ton of new bikes, a ton of used bikes, and they're all just looking for their rider. Go get them out of here. Go show them around more than our little lap around Raleigh. So once again, thank you guys for riding, and you want to know more about this bike, then come see us. So in the meantime, ride safe, and we will see you soon.